Hi, everybody. Erin Virtue, University of Michigan. Really happy to be here. This is my second time at Media Day, third time with Michigan as the head coach. Thrilled to be here, the BTN, Big Ten Network. Everyone puts on such a great show here. I love having our athletes with us and supporting and kind of working through this whole experience with them. This season, this team has been crushing it through the winter, through the spring. We were able to take an international trip, so huge advantage there. But I just love the absolute joy that is to work with these women on our team, and I'm really excited to see us go to battle this year. We have the deepest team we've ever had since I've been at Michigan, and that includes the times I was an assistant coach at Michigan. So it's, everyone can step up for this team. So it'll be a really fun experience.
Questions for the Wolverines? Let me start off here first, Coach. An 11-win increase from the season before. What were some of those ingredients that led to such a jump? And looking at last season that you want to carry over into 2025?
A big part of that was, technically, was our ball control. So that's from the reception to the setting. As you look at just the actual talent and what we had on the court, I think that was something we put a ton of work into, was how do we have our first and second contact? And that allows us to run the type of offense that we want. These two, Allison and Maddi, were a huge part of that first contact in the reception space. Two that were, Allison wasn't on the court all the year before, and Maddi kind of sparingly. So for us, that was a big, big jump for us last year.
And for the players too, with 13 returners on this team. Take us through summer workouts and really forging those connections built last season when there's so much carryover and continuity.
Yeah, this summer was special because we got to build some momentum in May, which is a time that we don't normally get to be in the gym. Because of our foreign trip, we had 10 days to train together under the coaches and start integrating some of the new faces that we see, and also get to carry that momentum that we developed in Italy and Greece into our July training months. So it didn't feel as much as a stop-start as a lot of summers often do. It was more like we know what the flow is, and we show up in July and commit to each other and do what you got to do before the coaches get in the gym. It's really, really been a fun time.
Yes. I think also to add, we've really been able to build those connections, grow closer relationships with one another. And once we can continue to build those close relationships, we'll play better with each other on the court, and that will show.
Coach Virtue, this is, I don't want to say a free summer for you, but you're not working double jobs and going to Paris for the Olympics and winning Olympic medals. How does that affect how you go into this next year? And tell us also just about that experience overall, how it led into last season and being able to be the offensive coordinator for the Olympic team.
Yeah, I'll start with that and kind of move as we move through the season. But yeah, I didn't know what I didn't know. It was first time head coach the last 2 years, and working with the national team and then the Olympics last year. And, as I was just on this merry-go-round, we just went around and around, and I was just living day to day, just trying to make sure I was good for both programs. And, I don't know that, I think I did the very best I could to be good for both. And yes, we had a medal and a really nice season for Michigan last year, and certainly upgraded. But now coming into this summer and prepping for the season and getting to be around our athletes more and at camp, and we're onboarding 3 new staff, and my presence and just time in Ann Arbor is certainly been something I can't even fathom what I did last year. So this year it's been nice also getting a little time, like even just an evening or a weekend day for myself, which is really nice. So that's been great. But mostly I just feel really prepared for the season, practice planning and chatting with my staff about what we need to upgrade, what we want to focus on the first week of practice, but more prepared than ever.
I think we have a question behind this pillar.
Sorry, I'm hiding. Sue Marriott, Big Ten Network. Coach, you mentioned the international trip, and this is kind of for all of you. We've heard this from other teams as well, just how much those trips help. Can you tell us why? What's the secret sauce in an international trip, and why is it such a boost to a program?
Yeah, I can start, and then the athletes will certainly have great perspective there. But I think from the volleyball point of view, you have, Allison mentioned it, but you have 10 days of extra training. And for us, incorporating our transfers, we have 2, and 2 of our 3 freshmen were able to join at various parts of that. And so incorporating them into the mix at that point was amazing. And like you have your spring season, and then the training and international trip is almost like a season in itself, like a semester in itself. For Michigan, we are done with our winter semester in the middle of April. So from middle of April to the early part of August, we don't get to work with our team on a normal summer. So this part, we went at the end of May with training, the beginning of June with our trip. 4 matches overseas, so just in a chance to kind of reinvigorate the volleyball in us, and have a little bit slower days. Ann Arbor is amazing in the summertime, and so just to have the team around in that space. And I'll let the athletes touch on just also the volleyball, but also the connection from the team, because they certainly felt it on our side. On the staff side of that, I will say with 3 new members and their spouses, being able to be around and connecting with each other, but also for the athletes to see our staff in a way that's not only practice and only volleyball is really critical.
Yeah, I'll definitely second everything. And when I think about the impact of a foreign trip, my mind kind of goes to 3 different places. The first being you get to see different kinds of volleyball all around the world. And on top of that, you get to play with them and against them in a pressure-free environment, playing alongside people on our team that you don't normally play against in a match format. We have so many different lineups, so many opportunities for all of us to play together. So that's huge. And the second piece is just the fact, as Erin touched on, that you get to spend so much time with each other. And it was really fun to kind of go stir crazy, like with your team. You learn what boundaries you push, and it's so much fun. We made so many memories. And the third spot I land on is kind of like, we'll see. Like, we'll see what the impact is. I'm really excited and hopeful to feel the momentum that we built kind of bleed into fall.
Yeah, I would agree with everything everyone's saying. I think being on this Euro trip allowed us to get a deeper understanding of everybody, because you get that time off the court when maybe you're not focused so much on like learning more about other people and like what their personalities are. So I feel like this Europe trip helped us really stay in touch with one another, like learn how Erin is like outside of like a volleyball environment. So I feel like that has really helped us to play better with one another and like learn how to play with each other.
I think we'll open things up. If any of our student journalists have any questions, or got a hand right here, wait for the mic 1 second.
Antonio Lawler Cooper, and I attended Bronson Elementary School. And my question is, who do you think is jump higher, a basketball player or a volleyball player?
Go ahead, girls. It's a great question.
It's a good question.
My gut instinct is volleyball, because we jump more. Basketball jumps a lot, but we jump more. Mm-hmm. Someone can research that and figure out if it's actually true. What do you think, Maddi?
I don't know if I can pick a side. I think it depends on the individual more than the sport.
What do you think?
I think volleyball.
Okay.
Good answer.
Yeah, jury's still out on that one. I'm curious too.
That's a good question.
Allison, I wanted to ask you, being first team All Big Ten, coming back from your injury, and just how you feel like that's going to propel you into this next season, and just how great that was for you getting back to your game.
Oh, I just am really excited. Yeah, I'm filled with a lot of joy and gratitude for the sport that I play and the people that I play alongside. And I've experienced a big shift in kind of my mental relationship with the game, and it's now coming from more of a place of, rather than playing hard to win something like that or like earn something like that, I play because I love it and I love the people that I play alongside, and then cool things like that just come about. And so it feels a lot more rewarding because it's more about the process and getting better every day, and it's just something I'm looking to carry in and continue to prove to everyone coming forward.
You founded the group Michigan Mindfulness. How much did that experience inform creating that group, being a leader in these kind of discussions and sharing those experiences?
Yeah, I have a little club called Michigan Mindfulness. We meet like on Wednesdays at 7:30 or whatever, and it's just a time to learn about who we are off the court and really take a intentional moment to journal or just ask questions about ourselves that are separate from our identities as students, separate from our identities as athletes, as sisters, as daughters, or sons or whoever comes to the club. It's just a moment to pause, foster some gratitude, and it's helped me on the court a lot.
Sarah Barber, Sporting News. For Maddi and Allison, you guys are two of the most experienced players on this roster, obviously, as graduate students. So what are you guys kind of bringing into the team this season? Obviously, you're returning a lot of athletes, but with those couple of freshmen, how are you kind of hoping to guide them through this first season?
I think a big thing for us and for myself is just leading by example. Sometimes I'm not the loudest person on the court, but I think one thing is that people really see how you portray yourself and how you just kind of go about things. So I think one thing that we try to do is just lead by example, and I think the freshmen and all the people that are coming in new really appreciate that. So I think being able to do that will really integrate them into our system better. And then also obviously on the court, teaching them our systems early on is going to help a huge amount.
I agree, and in the same vein, leading with curiosity, that's something I've learned a lot from Erin, is just approaching them as a human and just asking them questions about their life so they know that we care about them deeply, and it doesn't have anything to do with volleyball.
We'll get to Lee right here. Right here.
Thank you. Lee Feinshog from 900 Square Feet. Erin, when you took the job and in the time since, so you were so involved with two jobs, and the landscape has changed so much, and especially in the last year. How have you navigated it? How do you keep up? What do you assess? What's going on?
Yeah, obviously the NCAA landscape and just college athletics, there's a lot of shift in the last 2 years. And frankly, when I was with the national team prior to coaching Michigan, I wasn't in college. I was only USA Volleyball. So for me, it was my last year in college was years before. So jumping back in after working just with the national team, there was a big shift. And so I think the luxury I had is I think I wasn't this gradual, okay, what is happening? I think I came into it with eyes wide open. Of course, the last 8 months, even year, for me, the biggest thing as my attention sometimes gets pulled away with things with revenue sharing and roster management, I have to make sure that we don't miss a beat with what's happening in the gym, with the video, with the training. And so I think as I think of the staff that I was able to bring in this year, we have a new director of ops and then 2 new assistant coaches, and wanted to be really mindful in those hires of people that were very passionate about the game, recruiting, studying the game, reading books on motor learning, and understanding how to teach, because my time sometimes gets pulled away. Those are things I thoroughly enjoy, and just as a head coach, as someone that has to take on more roles with these things and making sure we're doing it the right way, that's all gonna fall to me, those decisions, making sure we have really sound background of why we make the decisions we do with the rev sharing and how we disperse that, and communicating that really as well as I can with the athletes. That falls so much to making sure I'm supported with an incredible staff. So my 3 assistants, our video analyst, our ops are amazing, and I communicate as well as I can to the athletes, especially as things are shifting a lot. In the last 3 months, we found out even the settlement passed while we were in Greece, and talking with the team about that and how that's going to impact them. Of course, we had plenty of conversations before, but that's some of the strategies that I've used as far as making sure I'm staying on top of the ever-changing pieces to that.
Yep. Go ahead. Just Lee, go again.
Allison, someone like yourself, there are other players in exactly the same situation. You are an All Big Ten player going into this year who declared free agency. And did you have the option to transfer? Did you negotiate it all? Did people contact you? And why did you stay?
Yeah, it's an amazing question because I committed to staying fall of 24, before the season even started, because in my heart of hearts, there's no other place in the world I'd play my 6th year other than the University of Michigan under Erin and our new staff. So yeah, sure, there's other opportunities or people in my position that maybe they transferred for who knows what reason, but I know that this is the place that I'm meant to be. Yeah, money. and I committed to stay without even knowledge of that volleyball was going to be included in any rev share. And now it just feels like a blessing that we have that opportunity to be supported as student athletes at the University of Michigan. So there was not a question in my mind that I was going to play my last year at Michigan. Yeah.
We have a question in back corner.
Sue again with BTN. I think, Allison, you mentioned that the foreign trip was a pressure-free zone for you guys. We all know the Big Ten's a gauntlet. For you guys, I guess, when does the pressure cooker start? Is it the beginning of the season? Is it the beginning of Big Ten play? Like, when do you feel that, just as a team where it's like, okay, now we are really in this?
I feel like something that we are hearing from other people is that like this day honestly is starting to make everything feel real. It's kind of like we have been on this kind of bender of like continuing to play volleyball, like we're still playing with each other, and like this Europe trip allowing us to, get more reps in with one another. But I would say, yeah, like today has really made it come to light, and I think we're super excited.
Yeah, I really like that answer. I think Saturday is when we start official practices, and that's like we as a team have developed a culture of being very intentional and focused, and there's not going to be a moment, we hope there's not going to be a moment of, oh yeah, like we'll lock in when we have our first preseason game. Like we know how important every practice is, every rep is, so the second we're in the gym, it's go time.
Lincoln.
Lincoln area Huskers Illustrated. Erin, what is the next step for Morgan Burke at setter? What's her next evolution?
Yeah, so Morgan, she took the reins and didn't set them down all last season as setter. And this spring for her, that evolution, as no one had got to see this in practice, but was really leading more. And we have two young setters behind her, or just younger than her, and those two setters had a ginormous January till now. And we really, within position groups, and I think our setters are a good example of that, we want to make sure our teammateship is super strong. And so Morgan, not only in her craft, but just in her leadership style, and she's always wanting to do extra work and learn, and our setters have a great relationship with their setter coach, Cassie. But for her, it's how does she lead? How does she understand the game tactically even more? And of course, just as any quarterback or setter, you have to know your receivers, your attackers, and you have to know them. You can't just know the system that works well for them, but you have to really understand and know them. And Morgan, with the time and the care that she puts into that position, and as a friend and a teammate, I think that has grown so much since we saw her last play in November. So I'm excited to see her do that and continue to lead, not only within her position, but we have two amazing leaders on the stage that are finished in December with Michigan volleyball. And so come next year, I don't want to think about you guys finishing already, but it's happening soon. And so Morgan's somebody that certainly could step into some spaces in a formal leadership role too.
I would like to second that too. Like as a teammate, I think Morgan is always trying to get in the gym. She's always wanting to bring people to lift with her. And I think she really is going to be somebody that's going to step up when Allison and I are gone, because I think that I can see it in her as someone that like spends a lot of time and has gotten to know her, that she's a very caring person, looks out for her teammates, and I think is really going to be integrating into that leadership role.
All right, I think we're just about out of time for the Wolverines. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go Blue.